Why are Chinese products very cheap? I've been a manufacturing engineer and proposal manager 40 years my life building defense products for the US military. I deal with the cost of making things. The answer is multifaceted and generally about both greed and money mixed with economics. Here is a quick summary of my impressions in the form of a story. We had a military product where most of the parts were being made in China and then assembled in the USA. You have to understand that the reason for this is that US laws require a certain amount of these products be assembled in the USA, otherwise probable the entire product would be made abroad. You will see why shortly. Now the military was very dissatisfied with the quality of the product. The product coming from our SC plant was of poor quality, and our SC manufacturing folks were frustrated with the quality of the components coming from China. Many of the parts were out of specification from the drawings, but they were inexpensive. Our company went back to the Chinese company and asked them to fix their quality issues. But the parts kept coming without the needed quality fixes. My company asked me to investigate what it would cost to build the entire product at the local plant, so I did a study gathering information to perform the analysis. Here is a summary of the basics of what I found. The cost consists of three major components: manufacturing labor, Mexico, $3. 49-hour China, $0. 94-hour USA, $15 per hour. The average cost of manufacturing labor in the three cities of our area. Commentary: now maybe you want your children working for $0. 94-hour or $3. 49-hour, I don't. To me $15 seems reasonable in our USA society for highly skilled manufacturing labor. This is why company CEOs, many whom make 50 times what they did 25 years ago, insist on taking products abroad, to exploit our own USA employees, claiming they make exorbitant hourly wages. It justifies CEOs' salaries. The US government supports this philosophy and encourage it. Our US government also taxes industry heavily. Example, I went to a tool show in Chicago, and the Asian machine suppliers, who copied and then improved the USA design, could supply a machine at 1/2 the price of an American machine builder. The Asian builder built 100 machines at a time, placed them in their inventory, pulled them out and modified to each to the specific needs. The US builder built one at a time due to the US tax on carry-over inventory, which would have bankrupted him. Unlevel playing field. Let's compare two simple products that are primarily made in China: a stuffed toy animal for a baby and a frisbee. The stuffed animal is comprised of textile material for the cover, stuffing, 2 eyes and a nose. The material must be cut into pieces, sewn together and stuffed. The nose, eyes and mouth are usually a pattern of thread that is sewn on the face piece before the toy animal is sewn together and stuffed. The cutting of the pieces may be done by hand or by machine, but the pieces are sewn together by a worker using a high-speed sewing machine. The stuffing is usually blown into the stuffed toy by a machine, but the insertion point is closed by hand. This type of a product is considered to be a high labor content product, with labor being about 70% of the total cost. On the other hand, a frisbee is made of plastic resin, beads or pellets of plastic, in a process that is called plastic injection molding, in which the resin is heated in a molding machine to a viscous state and is then injected into a mold, after which the molded part is automatically popped out of the machine in a matter of seconds. The mold can be designed to make several parts at once at the push of a button, and a fully automated machine can be set to run continuously 24 hours a day with very little monitoring by a worker. The highest expense in producing a frisbee is the cost of making the mold, also called tooling, and that cost is amortized into the piece price of the parts, so that the higher the volume of production, the lower the cost of the amortized tooling that is added to the cost of the part. A frisbee is considered to be a low labor product at about 20% of the total cost. What are other factors of the total cost for the China price? First, there are the actual costs of the materials used to manufacture the product, which would be the textile material and stuffing for the toy animal and the plastic resin for the frisbee. Because of the high volume of materials and resins ordered by Chinese companies, the pricing would be as low as it could be. Second, there are the wages for the workers directly involved in producing the parts. Labor is abundant and cheap in China because even though 300,000 have risen into the middle class and above, this still leaves 1 billion people living at the poverty level. At any one time, there are an estimated 100 million workers who are unemployed and underemployed, which is about equal to the number of Americans employed in full-time jobs. All employees in China have the right under law to join the ACFTU, which claims some 170 million members and is controlled by the Communist Party. ACFTU has a monopoly on trade unionizing in China, and the creation of competing unions is illegal. Party leaders have ensured that the ACFTU has a monopolist position. They don't want autonomous unions springing up, because of the potential threat to their authority. In 2008, collective bargaining became a requirement of the labor contract law that went into effect, forcing most companies, including most foreign-owned ones, to create an ACFTU-chaptered trade union within them. However, there are about 1,000 protest demonstrations occurring every week in China, even at the risk of beatings, demotions, dismissal, and even torture. As a result, wages have finally been rising by about 15% per year over the past 4 years. It took suicides by workers in the summer of 2010 to achieve additional improvement in wages and working conditions at plants that were more like prison camps, with dormitories for workers to live on site and fences around the buildings so workers couldn't leave the premises. Third, there are the costs of compliance with health and safety regulation and environmental regulations. These costs are less expensive in China than in the United States because the Chinese government imposes few health and safety or environmental regulations. China doesn't provide workmen's compensation insurance for their workers, so workers hurt on the job don't receive any compensation when they are injured to the point that they are disabled.